Hey everyone, this is John Cordillo of the Rebel Media, and let's just say this guy, he is really afraid of Muslims, and he doesn't hide it. So let's dive into this idiocy.
The U.S. Muslim population is expected to double by the year 2050.
Uh-oh.
And when I tell you the views of Muslims around the world on things like suicide bombing and Sharia law, you're going to understand why Americans should be very concerned.
Oh my God, I'm so scared.
New data suggests that the U.S. Muslim population is going to grow from 1% today. Muslims are 1% of the U.S. population today to 2.1% by the year 2050. Only
shit.
33 years. That's some pretty rapid growth.
Damn.
Population is going to rise in actual numbers from 3.35 million today to about 7 million in 2050. And that is incredibly dangerous.
Exactly, I'm
Now,
scared.
we know that the attacker, Sayfullah Saipov, in the most deadly terror attack, and deadliest terror attack in New York City since 9/11, carried out the other day, was a migrant from Uzbekistan. He was a radical Muslim from Uzbekistan who didn't radicalize here. I hate that term. He didn't radicalize here. He weaponized here. He decided to kill here.
And you know this
because
how?
we let him in on something called the Diversity Visa Program.
Oh my God, diversity.
Which in a nutshell
Not
is just
good.
a visa program that lets more people into the United States from countries that the liberals, the progressives, the institutional progressives in the State Department feel are underrepresented in the U.S. population. And
Okay, so this is where from the beginning of the video, he went off a deep end. But this is where he really goes off the deep end. So this idiot thinks that it was the liberals who instituted the diversity visa program. When the Immigration Act of 1990 was signed into law by Republican President George H.W. Bush. And this is where this diversity visa lottery program that this terrorist came into the country from, he came under that program. He came under a law that was signed into law by a Republican president. But this clown over here thinks it was the liberals that instituted that law. But let's continue.
these programs are enabled by far leftists like Chuck Schumer and fake Republicans like Jeff Flake. Chuck Schumer back in 2006 said of the diversity program that he witnessed its benefits while riding his bike around New York City. But even more troubling, under 2 weeks before this deadly attack in New York City, New York Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, whose district is in New York City, tweeted, "The diversity visa lottery is now open. Call my office if you need more information or if you'd like to see if you're eligible to apply."
Yeah, there's nothing more dangerous than a congresswoman making herself available to her constituents. There's nothing more dangerous than that.
Now, this is really interesting because Donald Trump has been hitting the diversity visa program pretty hard. He tweeted, "The terrorists came into our country through what is called the diversity visa lottery program. A Chuck Schumer beauty. I want it merit-based." And yesterday, Jeff Flake, horrible Jeff Flake, the fake Republican, the guy who caucuses with Democrats, the guy who's never met an illegal immigrant he didn't love.
Oh, that's rich. Jeff Flake caucusing with Democrats. You know, Jeff Flake is a hardcore conservative. In fact, if you look at his congressional record, he is a reliable conservative vote. In fact, during the whole tax debate, he voted for the Republican tax cuts because the man is a hardcore conservative. He's a consistent conservative, and it's just hilarious to see how his own party is hanging him out to dry simply because he went against the dear leader, Donald Trump.
An illegal alien he didn't love tried to slam the president. He said, tweeted, quote, "The Gang of Eight, including Senator Schumer, did away with the diversity visa program as part of broader reforms. I know, I was there." Now remember, only 2 weeks prior, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke said the diversity visa lottery is now open. In fact, the diversity visa lottery is open as we sit here. It's open until November 22nd. Now, we're letting these people in droves.
Alright, this stupid fuck knows nothing about the Gang of Eight. The Gang of Eight bill was an effort to reform America's immigration system. However, it did not succeed for reasons that are too long to explain. It did not succeed, and hence why the diversity visa lottery program is still there. But this idiot, he doesn't know that, nor does he care to know that.
And that same data tells us that of the 3.35 Muslims currently in the U.S., a majority of them are adults. 2.05 million are adults.
Oh, no shit.
And another majority of them, 58%, are migrants. They weren't born here. These people were not born here. We let them in the gate.
How dare they not be
Now,
born here?
let's talk about why that is so incredibly dangerous. Muslims are predicted to be the fastest growing religious group. I mean, their growth is just astronomical and massive. We talked about it doubling in the U.S. over the next 33 years. But let's talk about their ideology.
It's that falafel.
Muslims want Sharia law. I'm going to give you some terrifying percentages.
Oh my God.
This is recent data
86%.
from the Pew Research Center. In Malaysia, 86% of Muslims want Sharia law. In Thailand, 77%. In Indonesia, 72% of Muslims want Sharia law. In Afghanistan, 99%. In Pakistan, 84%. We have pretty much unrestricted immigration from Pakistan. 84% of Pakistanis want Sharia law.
Oh my God.
And they probably want it here in the U.S. In Bangladesh, 82% of Muslims want Sharia law. In Iraq, 91%. Palestinians, 89%. Morocco, 83% of Muslims in Morocco want Sharia law. Egypt, 74%. Niger, Africa, 86%. Nigeria, 91%. And the list goes on. And these are all the people, the diversity, all the countries. The diversity visa program is trying to entice the residents of to come into the United States. This is terrifying. But even worse,
This clown, he provides no context whatsoever. Sharia law can walk up to him, slap him in the face, and burn his house down, and he still wouldn't know what Sharia law is. Sharia law is the law of the Muslims that governs many things, including crime, property rights, marriage rights. In fact, fasting during the month of Ramadan, if you observe that, you are observing Sharia law. If you pray 5 times a day, you are observing Sharia law. So it's not just him, though. Many Americans are very ignorant, and you can ask anybody what is the definition of Sharia law, and not one person will give you an accurate definition of it.
even worse, let's talk about violence in the name of jihad, most notably suicide bombing. Okay, U.S. Muslims, 19% of U.S. Muslims believe that violence, up to and including suicide bombing, is justified. Is a justified means of jihad? Is justified in the name of Islam? Let's do some numbers. Today, as we sit here, with 3.35 million Muslims in the U.S., that means 636,500 Muslims in the U.S. believe that violence, up to and including suicide bombing, is justified in the name of Islam. And when that Muslim population in the U.S. doubles in 2050, that will mean that nearly 1.4 million Muslims inside the United States, invited in, brought in by progressive ideology, 1.4 million Muslims inside the United States will believe that violence in the name of Islam, up to suicide bombing, is justifiable.
First of all, they were not brought in due to liberal ideology. Like I keep saying, it was a Republican that proposed the Immigration Act of 1990, and it was a Republican president that signed the Immigration Act of 1990 into law. Point number 2, I can give you a stat that shows 47% of Americans believe violence, or rather bombing civilians in order to further a military objective, is justified. That's 47% of Americans think attacking civilians for military reasons is justified. Now, 47% of 300 million people, I don't know what the exact number is, but it's north of 120 million people believe that. Yeah, this he's a fucking clown. I'm done. Thanks.